they drop Boosie charges and then re-indicted my nigga, man.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake. No rocking with y'all. Y'all rocking with me for this video.
And re-indicted my nigga. I don't know if it would. I think it might have been the same day.
I dropped a video on Boosie beating the feds, like literally beating the feds.
I know he probably right now. You see, I saw that feds, huh?
Whatever. He's good. He goes down to Orlando, Universal Studios. 30 family members with him. Flew the whole fam out, and then boom. We get the news that Boosie has been re-indicted. On July 24th, 2024, Boosie took to Instagram with his family at Orlando's Volcano Bay. This celebration vacation would come after his federal gun case was dismissed, but the feds just had to fuck it all up. Boosie would take to Twitter stating, "I'm on vacation with my family. My lawyer called me and said this federal prosecutor, M. Wheat, has indicted me again on the same charge and added a charge that I was a drug addict around a firearm. Shake my head. Why you didn't charge me with that the first time? The judges ruled at this point you're making this a circus. This has to be unconstitutional. This shows how far these devils will go to try to stop a successful black man with a voice. This man has a serious vendetta of hate against me. He wants to be a character in a movie. He just doesn't respect the courts. He's racist and has no respect for the courts. If I wasn't Boosie, this would not be happening to me." This same man looked at me and said, "Wipe me down" on my first court appearance. LOL. He's obsessed. I've never seen nothing like this in my damn life. 30 of us on vacation and I get this news. He put the hardest battles on his strongest soldiers. God got me. This man doesn't respect the law. Tell the president pardon this bullshit. Justice for Boosie. Now this is devastating. News literally broke how Boosie was the first rapper and second.
Bro, this nigga Boosie done been through so much shit, fool. This nigga Boosie got diabetes. This nigga had cancer. This nigga had beat all them bodies. This nigga, what else this nigga done been through? This nigga got shot. Boosie's been through so much shit, bro. That nigga done been through some shit.
To have felony gun charges dismissed following USA vs. Duarte, where it was ruled unconstitutional to ban nonviolent felons from possessing firearms. This was hope to the more than 19 million felons in the US that actual reform may be coming. Because it isn't just about changing your own actions. You could become the greatest man or woman after prison and still be held back by felony convictions, preventing you from voting, renting, working, and obviously the right to arm and defend yourself. A felony is a lifelong scar that now former President Trump wears like many of us, and this may be the start of a new beginning. So how the fuck were the feds able to re-indict Boosie after the charges were already dismissed? On July 16, 2024, Boosie could be seen smiling on Vlad TV only 4 days after having his gun case dismissed. Over the next 3 days, more clips would drop, one of which Boosie and Vlad would address and laugh off the snitch allegations the internet tried to put on Boosie regarding his case. Not only did Boosie not have a co-defendant, he had a hired armed security guard whose sole purpose was to provide security with a gun. So I don't understand how Boosie telling the police that he didn't have any guns, but his security did, was snitching. Especially when Boosie hired the motherfucker because he legally has guns and does security. But the internet remains undefeated, and when Boosie's case was dismissed, they had no other explanation as to how he could have pulled it off except snitching. Well, here's the plot twist. On July 19th, the same day the video came out, federal prosecutors filed a new indictment charging Boosie again with being a felon in possession of a firearm for the same Glock 19 that he had dismissed, on top of a new charge for being an unlawful user or addict in possession of a firearm. The feds are now alleging that Boosie is an addict, as defined in Title 21 United States Code Section 802, which states, The term addict means any individual who habitually uses any narcotic drug so as to endanger the public morals, health, safety, or welfare.
Appreciate that follow, bro.
Or who is so far addicted to the use of narcotic drugs
everybody
as to have lost the power of self-control with reference to his addiction. So how the fuck does that apply to Boosie? Looking at his arrest, Boosie could be seen in screenshots recovered by San Diego police smoking a suspected marijuana joint. When
my nigga smoked a blunt, they said he was an addict, bro. I'm an addict too. What the fuck?
When the vehicle Boosie was riding was pulled over, officers located a suspected marijuana joint in the center console of the vehicle. Being that this was in California, no one was charged with the joint, and it's unclear if the joint was even confiscated. It's also unclear how it's assumed to be Boosie's when 3 people were in the vehicle and Boosie was in the rear passenger seat.
A joint, a blunt making my nigga an addict though, a blunt in the car.
The center console is
one picture of him smoking a blunt. Don't y'all need like at least 10, 15 of them bitches to consider and call this man an addict? The police be tweaking, bro. What the fuck? They said my nigga Boosie an addict. That is crazy to me.
Is typically used by the driver. United States prosecutor Michael Gary Wheat is now alleging Boosie is addicted to controlled substances and was using controlled substances while possessing the Glock 19. Federally, marijuana is still a Schedule I controlled substance, along with heroin and meth. So instead of clarifying Boosie allegedly smoked weed in the legalist state to smoke it, California, Mr. Wheat would use his 30+ years experience as a federal attorney to make it sound as if Boosie was riding around with a Glock smoking meth. Now I'm interested in viewing how the feds will allege Boosie endangers public morals, health, safety, or welfare by smoking weed. Or how Boosie is so far addicted he's lost the power of self-control, because that's the definition of an addict the feds are using, so that's essentially what they'll have to prove. Even looking at Boosie's criminal history, he was sentenced to 8 years for possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute, meaning he was
he wasn't using it, goofies.
He'd also be convicted of bringing drugs into prison after being caught trying to smuggle codeine. Now it's well known that anyone caught with drugs requests rehab and will claim to be a user rather than a dealer because the punishment is less severe. But Boosie's criminal history clearly implies that he was in it for the money and not the high. So what about double jeopardy? Double jeopardy prohibits anyone from being prosecuted twice for the same crime, but apparently it doesn't apply until the jury has been sworn in and trial starts. The feds have a 98% conviction rate because almost every case ends in a plea deal before trial, and because Boosie's case never made it that far, the feds are apparently able to not only charge him again, but add on another crime. It's a dirty game. Prosecutors have requested Boosie turn himself in by noon on Wednesday the 24th, or they'd send U.S. Marshals after him. Imagine flying 30 members of your family down to Universal in Orlando to celebrate your freedom, and while at the theme park you get a call that you've been re-indicted and have to turn yourself into the feds immediately. Boosie's lawyer would file a motion to recall the warrant, which was granted, leaving Boosie with a court date on August 2nd. It's very possible they attempt to take him back into custody.
Oh God, they finna try to lock my nigga back up.
And it's likely this case will take another 6 months plus to come to a conclusion. We'll just have to wait and see if Boosie is able to win his second fight against the feds.
That's so fucked up.
Now this is gotta be one of the most bullshit moments in hip hop. You have the first rapper to win a Fed case based off of USA vs. Duarte, where they're saying, yeah, he's a felon, but he's non-violent. It's unconstitutional to ban him from firearms. And then you got this federal prosecutor who's been at this for 30 years that says, okay, well, we're gonna re-indict him for the same gun that just got dismissed, and now we're gonna add on that he's an addict because drugs and guns don't mix. So even if it's unconstitutional that he can't be around guns just for being a felon,
he just want the man gone. That shit weird.
Junkie And that way we can make this stick. But I don't understand how that works, because clearly using marijuana doesn't affect any of the things that they say in the definition of being an addict. And obviously, Boosie is very much in control. He has self-control. He's a successful rap legend.
Oh God, they are so fucking funny,
for the
bro.
purpose of business, collabing, performing, whatever. I haven't seen too many drug addicts at Universal fucking Studios. If you see a crackhead in the lazy river, 9 times out of 9, their ass gonna float off and die. You just don't see these type of things. So I don't understand how they're gonna be able to, oh yeah, look, he's a junkie, he's this, he's that.
Yeah, that shit
I just
crazy,
don't
bro.
see it. And the fucked up thing about it, bro, is if Boosie didn't have $100,000 for a bond, he would have still been in the feds, locked up that whole entire time that he was out on bond with an ankle monitor. If he didn't have the money to afford Megan Blanco and whatever other lawyers he's got, he probably would have got fucked over on that first Fed case. That's the thing about having money. There are people that are only in prison because they did not have the funds to defend themselves. And the feds and the government, the state, they all know when you're dealing with a motherfucker that's got money, you gotta bleed them dry. And how do you do that? You make them fight and pay for a case over time in which they're unable to work. Look at YNW Melly. How long has he been locked up? Y'all think he still got the bread to keep this shit going? They're bleeding them dry. I don't see how this shit is legal. I think this is fucking ridiculous. Even if I didn't know Boosie or who Boosie was or whatever, I would still be like, this is bullshit. And I feel that a lot of motherfuckers need to come forward and support him in this situation, because it could be you that gets fucked over next, not just him. But hey, it's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all and y'all rocking with me. Till next time.
Damn. Trying to hang that boy Boosie. Shit fucked up, man.